those for Blues.
What is up, guys? My name is the Osnator, and welcome back to the channel. I am doing another live discussion, and today I have my fellow guests and friends. First, we got Sauerkraut. Say hello, Sour.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have Ninjoid243. Say hello, Ninjoid.
Hello there, everyone.
It's been a minute since we last live streamed all together.
Very nice. Also, if anybody else is doing this off my phone, so this might be a little awkward at times.
Yeah.
At least we're actually streaming again.
And also, I'm not using my internet, so this is definitely going to be a fun stream. Oh boy, I can't wait for this one, guys. Just
Oh wow, we got a lot of chats right now.
Yeah, from Kavari. I don't know, and just left. So, yes, now you're in charge, Ryan.
Oh, I guess. Oh, I am.
Yeah, I guess because you are you're second.
all right, guys, I am back. My internet is back on. I'm going to be joining on my computer, like always.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
Oh, I know. Like, I get kicked off, and then now my internet is back on. Everything is okay with the world. Oh, man. So there might be two of me. When that's the case, I'm going to be leaving my phone, and, everything will be okay again. So before we begin, I'm not going to get into the main topic yet, but tell everybody where they can find you at.
Okay, well, you all can find me on Twitter at SKRasa6, Instagram at StarCross06, and Discord. And YouTube, StarCross, exclamation mark, question mark. It's just my name. It's on screen right now.
All right, guys, I have the long list. All right, so you can check me out on my own YouTube channel, Ninjoid243, where lately it's been more of a Star Wars channel. Because I love Star Wars, and that's always gonna be like the main thing, Star Wars. But yes, there will be other things more with Marvel, DC, Riverdale. I have actually good news about Riverdale. Yes, there's going to be an actual video about Riverdale season 4 coming up. I recorded it yesterday, and I am very excited because I am going to make a little bit of a parody in a way to go with it.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Funny. And you guys are gonna laugh, and you guys are probably gonna agree with me on a lot of the stuff if you guys actually seen Riverdale before. Because guys, I'm no longer a Riverdale fan. I don't like it one bit, and basically that's what the video is gonna be. Why I refuse to watch it anymore, why I don't like it anymore, and why my intro will still have some scenes from Riverdale because I'm just keeping the intro. I'm used to the intro.
One teardrop falls.
And here's the thing. If I use my new intro in which I made, I get copyright claimed.
Oh, damn.
So now I have to use my old intro, or else I get copyright claims. So I'm using my old intro, probably till I make a new intro that's not copyright claimed, in which that probably will never happen. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah. Also, you can check me out on Twitter at Ninjoid243, Facebook, Steph Ninjowski, also Instagram at Ninjoid243. It's the picture of Kylo Ren with the Knights of Ren. Also, you can check me out on Snapchat at Ninjoid243, and You can also see Sauerkraut, aka Ryan, and also Austin, aka the Austinator, on my own channel. We usually stream together. So yeah.
Very, very nice. You guys can check me out on Twitter at the Austinator17. You guys can usually find me on Discord at the Austinator, and you guys can check me out on my YouTube channel, the Austinator, where I have the Spider-Man face staring at you intently. I am trying to reach my goal of 50 subscribers. I'm at 44 subscribers. I need 6 more. So if you guys have not already, you guys should definitely subscribe. I'm not doing really any gaming streams anymore because I am leaving for college in a few weeks, and I would rather just do. And so you're mainly going to be seeing more live discussions. So
yeah,
that is going to be fine. Also, Kavari, I've seen your comments. I will get to them, but I will be right back. I have to find an HDMI cable for my computer, so I'm going to mute myself. You two, can you guys entertain?
Yes, absolutely.
While I am vanish, I will be right back.
Okay, everyone. So I'm actually gonna just share a screen right now because I actually think we should have the films up that we're going to talk about, possibly. Just like because I think that's what we're actually going to do for my own channel too, with movie reviews and just discussions plain period. There's always going to be like a picture up of what we're going to talk about. But yeah, what's up, Kavari? I know you haven't really been seeing much live streams from my channel or from any of us, really, to be honest. Because this week, like even this week, we did not even have a galactic chat. That's one thing which I can't believe. Because I always say, hey, it's going to be a weekly show, guys. Guess what? This week was too busy for all of us. To be honest. And I was catching up on just some shows of mine. And also tonight, Stargirl is on a new episode. So yay about that. So yes, Kavari, I'm really excited for Stargirl. Do you have anything to say, Ryan?
Not much, but I am pretty busy this week a bit as well, and I forget if it's next week or the following week. I think it might be the following week.
Also, Ryan went camping.
Yeah.
Or else we would have done some stuff. I'm probably gonna guess. I'll be right back. Just a minute.
Okay. Oh, Austin, you there?
Hello, I am back. I am on my computer. I am officially back on this channel because I'm on a computer now. Hells yeah, man. We're going to get to the comments, and we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 1 and 2, possibly 3. So let's just get right into the comments, man. Kavari, let me just say, man, I appreciate you. All right? You've supported every single one of my streams. That's why I made you a moderator, and I'm going to get to your comments, my friends. Thank you for just being a supporter of the channel and helping us out.
Yeah. Yep. For all of us. Legit, for all of us.
Kavari says, Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell was a masterpiece. I must say, there has been only 2 directors that managed to scare the hell out of me. It is Sam Raimi and James Wan. That is, I can agree with that. James Wan is a good,
I can agree
great horror director, and I think Raimi did that Evil Dead, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did. Raimi did do that.
You know who else I like? I like Wes Craven.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Come on, Ryan, you're the horror guy. Come on, you're supposed to.
I forgot.
I just watched
Kabari-
horror films.
Kabari
yeah.
says, by the way, Sour, you've got to watch Drag Me to Hell.
Okay, I probably will.
Sounds like a good movie. Considering that you all like it.
Kavar says Sam Raimi delivered 2 amazing Spider-Man movies. As for the third one, we won't speak of it. Oh, trust me, we're probably going to be talking about it in.
We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be Homecoming.
Yeah, the stream is going to be like 2 hours long because of the delays and stuff. But that is perfectly fine. Like I said, I haven't uploaded anything in the last couple of weeks. So you know what? I'm going to make this my big comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you guys can share the stream around in the chat, I would gladly appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Kavari says, let's hope Marvel allows Raimi to go full on dark with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I would like to see that. I really would.
Yeah.
I think Raimi, though, there's going to be a lot more comedy. I think Raimi, I think he's the perfect director for a Doctor Strange film because, yes, there are lots of horror elements in Doctor Strange comic books, also comedy and everything. So we're going to get all of that in the Multiverse of Madness. But do I think there's going to be a lot of horror elements? I don't know, because you gotta remember, it's owned by Disney.
I mean, that is true.
So I think there's going to be a little bit more comedy elements instead of horror elements. I feel like the Multiverse of Madness is going to be a little bit like Thor Ragnarok in a way.
I'm pretty sure Disney did make one horror film. I think so.
Wait, what?
They might have done. I know they did Haunted House, but I don't know if that's necessarily considered or no, Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion is the one that they did.
I think that might be it, but I forget.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think so.
And Kavari says, so rumors has it that the studio interfered with the production of Spider-Man 3. Is that true? And that Raimi did not want Venom as the villain. He wanted Toyman as the villain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he wanted Vulture as the villain.
He wanted Vulture and Sandman. That's what he said, because he already casted Vulture, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley, I believe, was supposed to be the Vulture.
Yes, and he would have rocked because he actually looks like Vulture from the comic books and all of that, and the suit too from the concept art.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toyman is from actually DC. Barry, if you remember from Supergirl.
Oh boy.
Wade's father, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So yeah.
And yes, Kabari, the rumors are true that the studio did, and Raimi did not want Venom because it just didn't work with the movie I was making, and he also does not like Venom as a character.
Yep. Raimi doesn't like Venom at all because he's not human. Basically, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Yeah.
And Kavar said, did you all see Snyder's interview with Icon YouTube with Grace Randolph? What are your thoughts?
Okay.
I have not seen it.
I actually heard of it. I heard of this. I was starting to watch it, but then I fell asleep. Because this was during Storm's Live. It was brought up from, I'm pretty sure, Mad 1306. He super chatted last night, and he was like, "Hey, have you guys seen the interview with Grace Randolph with Zack Snyder?" And I was like, "Well, I haven't." So then I put it on, and I fell asleep during it. So now I'll have to watch it probably right after this stream. and all of that. I was busy this morning, so that's why I couldn't. But yes, I did hear of it, but I have not seen it. Kavari, though, you can spoil away.
So Kavari, we'll get to your DC comments. It's just we're already 15 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to our main topic. So I will get to them as soon as we are done with the main topic.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get through this because this was something that I was going to do a couple weeks ago, but then with everything that was going on, I kind of want to just talk about it. So, we're obviously going to talk about the first Spider-Man movie that was made, but before we get into that, let's talk about how this movie was made. Now, this is actually kind of this is just like a weird movie. This movie has like this weird back history. Yes. So at first, the movie was going to be made by the same guys who did Superman 4. And they were and from what I am to understand, they were going to make Spider-Man like this giant man spider.
Almost like the comics, if you remember.
Yeah.
You've got the 6 arms, and if you guys don't know the storyline, you can easily just watch it on Spider-Man the 1994 series, season 2, because it clearly shows that. But overall, yes. And let's just be honest, that would be very weird. Because if they did that with Spider-Man, like a horror film, as his first film ever, no, I'm sorry, I would not be for it. All right, it would have just been another one of the '90s films in which it would have not done well, basically, and nobody would even go back and rewatch it probably.
Now, do you guys want to see what Stanley's reaction was to this?
Sure. Exactly.
He's giving the middle finger. So basically after that, Stanley basically said, nope, I want this rewritten completely because that is just utterly stupid. And
also,
so from what
they disrespected the source material.
Yeah.
So, I would not be for it either. It's like if you're saying, hey, Ninja, like we know your characters, we know your stories and all of that. Say, how about we make like a horror film and we make one of your heroes turn bad and all of that, and that's really gonna be it. And I'm like, well, you guys have not even read or seen my characters then, because that's completely not that.
Yeah. And so basically the rewrite was that Spider-Man was going to fight Doc Ock. They actually, I believe that they casted Tom Cruise, if I'm not mistaken. And
there's a lot of rumors of what that was actually going to happen to the film. And I even learned some stuff, like there was actually going to be 3 villains in the first film. I'm pretty sure. Sandman, Dr. Octopus, and Green Goblin in an origin story.
I don't know how that would work though.
That's the thing. I don't know personally. I just watched today, like just before the stream and before I jumped on, I was watching Adam's Spider-Man review, like for the Sam Raimi trilogy. Like he had reviews for them, and man, oh man, there was a lot of history with this one. Let me just tell you that. And ideas did not work at all.
Like that's kind of that's kind of how I got my background for, just how the movie got made, because I watched Adam's reviews. And
Yeah, exactly. Like 3 villains in an origin story. I'm sorry. In an origin story, there should just be one villain.
no, I absolutely agree with that. And I think them going with Green Goblin as the first villain was kind of weird, because it's like you're already starting off with the big, like, Spider-Man's biggest enemy. Like, I know, like, the Tim Burton's Batman movie did this with Joker, but to me, it's like I don't like how you use, like, the big, like, main, like, bad guy in the first movie when you should be using someone like Sandman. Would have been a cool first villain.
To me, what was weird? No, I actually think Green Goblin as the first villain did go well. I think that it would have been weird if they did it. So supposedly there was going to be like a team up between Goblin and Dr. Octopus, in which I think that would have been so weird, to be honest, because
It would have been weird.
They're both completely different characters. They're like, besides for they know science, that's the only thing. All right, that's the only thing that they actually have in common.
Yeah.
Everything. And Doc Ock, he hates Norman Osborn. Okay? In the comics, he hated Norman. In the shows, even. Like, just look at Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay? Ock actually worked for Norman, and he wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
And same thing with even Ultimate Spider-Man. That show in which really no one talks about because it's not comic accurate at all. Norman and Ock actually teamed up in that, but guess what? That was not very done well either. It was done okay, but not very well because they're both different characters.
Yeah. And also, yes, this is my new pick.
Epic.
Because
I like him.
thank you.
We all like it.
From the grave.
And actually, James Cameron, if I'm not mistaken, actually wrote a script for Spider-Man.
Yes.
And
that script we will get into, because that would have been a rated R completely. Rated R Spider-Man film. So,
if I'm not mistaken, Doc Ock was going to be the villain. Yes. Peter and Mary Jane were going to have sex on the Empire's... No, it was like either the bridge or the Empire State Building.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask, if this movie came out first, would you have been like, okay, this movie is kind of cool, or would you think like,
I would have been, I think the film would have been okay, but not like what we got at the end.
Yeah. Kavari has a comment. Kavari says, I have to say Spider-Man has the second best villain gallery after Batman, who agrees with me. I know Ninjoy doesn't. I will say, Kavari, that I think as far as DC is concerned, Batman does, but when it comes to Marvel, I think Spider-Man has the best.
Marvel has the best rogue gallery. Best rogue gallery. Rogues. Sorry, guys. I was drinking some iced tea. But, yeah, Kavari, I fully... I respect your opinion, and I think Spider-Man has the best gallery of all of them, to be honest. But if you're separating DC and Marvel, then he has the best gallery for Marvel. DC, it's Batman. I mean, like, no one can disagree with that.
Oh, like, yeah, no, I won't disagree with that at all.
because basically all of the popular DC villains come from Batman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But also, I want to point out with James Cameron's original script, also, Peter was actually going to wake up having webs, a web erection.
Oh.
James Cameron really has fallen from grace after Titanic, hasn't he?
Yeah. He kind of did.
Like, Titanic was his last great film. Everything after that,
Well, that's the thing. That would have been weird to see. Just cum webbings. Cum webbing.
You know what? Speaking of that, there's this fan fiction I have been studying up on and reading.
Oh, dear God.
Now it's by the same guy who did Hit the Mark, which I told Nindroid about this, where it's like all a bunch of this Arrowverse, their characters getting it on.
Mhm.
It's he did a Spider-Man one where Peter got it on with people. Like, I will say this man got lucky on multiple occasions. I'm like, this man right here. I'm like, he's like going in like he's in alternate universes and he's getting something. I'm like, damn, this man's the king. I gotta respect him for this one. I mean, I know it's not.
Let me guess. MJ, Gwen Stacy, and Black Cat all in one day.
Oh, it's not just that. Okay, it's not just that. He's Supergirl, Wonder Woman.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not joking on this one.
What the heck? So it's a DC crossover.
Well, some of it is, but a lot of it's also Marvel stuff, and
Okay.
I also.
What's next? Well, Black Widow probably.
Oh yeah, Black Widow's in there. White Tiger's in there.
Okay.
A female version of Tony Stark's in there.
Okay.
this is very.
What's next? Female Loki.
You know what? I think that's in there as well. I'm telling you, we're gonna have to read this stuff.
Yeah, we are.
Unfortunately,
Series, guys. Fanfic.
yeah.
That's it, basically. That's going to be like a new series of we all come together. So guess what? We're not going to talk about Star Wars or Spider-Man. We're going to talk about fan fiction. We're going to read it out loud. We're going to enjoy our laughter.
But see, the problem is with this fan fiction, it's very descriptive.
Oh, dear God.
And so basically if we read it, I have to like sugarcoat it. I have to say like certain things like, all right, we can't say this because it's very, and I can't even show it on the screen because I'm going to be like, all right, I can't show it on the screen. It's basically descriptive. But if you want to read along, just find it. It's called you want to know what the title is for this? It's 300 chapters.
Oh my God.
It's called A Sticky Situation.
Okay.
Cum joke.
And by the way, when we do this,
absolutely funny.
we can't actually say that. So, you know what we're going to call that?
The slime joke.
Webbing.
The webbing joke. Yes.
Exactly. Because I have to try and make this as family friendly as possible. But it's not family friendly, though. It's still bad. I got to adhere to YouTube's guidelines because I can't. No, there's just a lot of stuff I can't say, and I'm pretty sure what's in the fan fiction is very descriptive, so I can't say a lot of the stuff. Like if I say it like all separately, like if I say like those things like separately, you know, I'd be fine. But like if I just use like a word, then I'd be okay. But if it's like in a big sentence, then no, I can't say it.
All right, so let's get back into the news.
Kavari says he's not the biggest Stanley fan because of certain comments he said about DC heroes. I won't repeat what he said, but it pissed me off. Well, I mean, you have to really think about it. Stanley was Marvel through and through. So it's kind of like you can't really...
Yeah. He was okay with some of the DC heroes and all of that. He's still, but yeah, back to this.
Let's just get right into it since we're 30 minutes in. The first Spider-Man movie, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, J.K. Simmons, Willem Dafoe, and Rosemary Harris, and then Cliff Robertson. There's a lot of people that starred in this movie, those just to name a few. But let's just talk about it. What did you guys think of the movie? What were your issues with the movie, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, let me just start off first saying that this was the very first superhero film in which I've ever seen. So this got me into comic books. This got me into superheroes. This got me just plain period addicted to everything that everyone else is addicted to. Basically. So yeah. I overall, well, of course I enjoyed it, or else I would not be addicted to everything. So heck yeah. This was the first comic book film. Okay, so my very first comic book film in which I actually saw were bits of pieces of Iron Man 3. Okay? And I remember I was okay with Iron Man 3, but I was not the biggest fan. And you know why I was not the biggest fan?
Why?
Because I said that the villain sucked. So then I watched Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man, and that film got me addicted to comic books and got me addicted to everything. Without that film, I would not be here today with you guys. I would not be here. I would not have my YouTube channel. And yeah, so I want to say Spider-Man 1 is my second favorite comic book film of all time. Okay? Yeah, I love Green Goblin. I love MJ. But, once again, this was not MJ in this film. It was more Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
MJ is a party animal. Okay?
Yeah.
And this was not a party animal. This person was just, oh, hi, I want to act. That's all. And that, she studied actresses and all of that. And I'm like, that's a little bit, like, I know that Gwen did not want to be an actress, but, I mean, like, some of the stuff, like, she studies. MJ does not study in the comic books. At all. She doesn't study at all.
No, she does not.
And she wants to she's basically like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with Flash Thompson out on a date and everything like that. And like she's sometimes like a cheater in a way.
Oh, she's like a cheater in this series of films.
Yeah, she is too. So that's one thing. She does cheat. That's one comic accurate thing. All right? And let me tell you, MJ in these films, I like her look. I think she's cute.
Yeah, and she looks like Mary Jane.
Yeah. She just doesn't act like MJ completely. But guess what? I can still get with that. Because guess what? I'd rather Gwen Stacy over MJ any day.
I agree with all of that.
So you know what? She can act like Gwen Stacy. I don't really care. It's just, why did you not just put Gwen Stacy into it? Because Gwen Stacy was more popular than MJ until the 80s, when MJ then married Peter and all of that stuff. So they actually became a thing. But you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Why did you just not put Gwen in it? Because it's basically Gwen and all of that. Now I know Ryan doesn't like Gwen.
No,
And
I like
honestly,
it, but I just like MJ better.
oh, okay. Because to be honest, I think Gwen is the best thing in the Amazing Spider-Man films.
Oh yeah, that's what I think as well.
That's comic accurate completely. That's what Gwen is right there. She's a nerd, and she is basically the girl in which Peter would have, married and maybe had a family with if Green Goblin did not kill her.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Spider-Man. Also, can you maybe share my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so this just saying that these are the films that we're talking about.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So yeah, we're just gonna it up probably, because I think this is probably almost like a normal review. Like there's always a picture of the film or films that we're talking about. So yeah. But yeah, Spider-Man I overall enjoyed as a film, and it is my second favorite comic book film of all time. I know people will disagree on me there, but I just think it's a classic. It's a normal classic. I have lots of respect for that film.
Kavari has a couple comments here. He said DC heroes aren't relatable to normal people, like Marvel characters are. Well, I mean, he does kind of have a point, because you got guys like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. Like they're already like, they're gods basically, except for Batman, who are trying to be normal people. Where it's the other way
Batman is the most relatable. Batman is the most relatable. That's really the only one, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he was talking about like the popular ones, Kavari. Like Superman's not that relatable.
Yeah, he's really not. Like, okay, he has like that Boy Scout thing, but unfortunately not a lot of people are like that. Like, he's basically a perfect character.
So, and that's what the films missed for a lot of people. Lots of fans of Marvel, they say that they prefer Marvel more than DC because Marvel's heroes, they actually can relate to them. While with the DCU, they really can't relate to Superman at all.
Like, you look at Spider-Man, who's basically a normal human being, and he goes through everyday problems.
Yeah. And he was like, what the heck? Like, why can I walk? Like, how did I get these powers? Like, he was being like what a normal human would react to. Like, what if I got bitten by a radioactive spider and I found out that I can climb on walls and everything? I would be like, what the heck is this? I would freak out. And that's what technically he did. He freaked out. He's like, what the heck is this? Because that's what I would have done. What about you, Ryan?
He's muted right now.
What about you, Austin, then?
I would probably freak out as well. Because that's because he goes from being like a common, nobody, to basically having these powers. He's like, what do I do with them? And At first he did it for money, but then when Uncle Ben dies, he basically learned that with great power comes great responsibility, and that was a lesson that he had to learn.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Kabar says, coming from the guy who spent his entire life ripping off the unrelatable characters.
Kavari, I fully disagree with you on that. Like, the only character in which he kind of ripped off was actually Thanos, but he did not even create Thanos.
Yeah.
Alright? Like, yes. Even people say that. Oh, well, Thanos basically Darkseid. And all of that. Everyone agrees with that. And mostly everyone agrees that Darkseid is better than Thanos.
Oh, he's 100% better than Thanos.
Yes, exactly. So, like, you can say, yeah, there's some stuff with Superman and Spider-Man because they both work at a paper shop, and like, you can say a little bit like that, but that doesn't mean that he ripped off the whole complete character.
That is true. Kabar says, I think Spider-Man 3 has the best movie poster.
Yeah,
I would say that.
Probably. It's either 2 or 3.
But see, I think the third movie's poster, you want to know what the problem with this is?
What?
It's attached to a movie that's, no.
No, but 3, it doesn't mean that. Like, for example, can you at least agree that the Rise of Skywalker movie poster rocks?
Yeah, I like the poster.
But you are not really a big fan of the film. So that's what he's trying to say, basically.
Yeah, but the one thing that I don't like about the posters is that it's false advertising. It says the battle within. What battle within? Remember the dream sequence?
Yeah.
That should have happened in the movie. Then that's the battle within. Where was that in this movie? Nowhere.
Yeah, that's basically that. Like, I remember when I found out that there was a third film, because here's the funny thing, guys. I watched 1 and 2 just back to back because I found them at a vintage DVD store. So I just got both of them because they were in like a double feature thing. So when I watched them back to back, I was like, okay, these are really good. Like, they're my favorite comic book films of all time. Well, no, they were the first. So I was like, well, are they going to be my favorite comic book films of all time? Let's just continue being comic book fans and all of that. Let me just continue and all of that.
Davari, Superman is the beacon of hope, truth, and justice. What about that is unrelatable?
Well, what they're trying to say is, Superman is from a planet and all of that. Like, yes, there are many things in Superman that are relatable, but there are lots of things that are not relatable. Spider-Man is basically all relatable. Okay? Besides I don't have powers. But guess what? Spider-Man has problems getting dates. All humans have problems like that. Also, paying taxes for the house, getting a new house, stuff like that.
He also gets sick.
Sick too. So, Superman, he doesn't get sick. He doesn't really have to worry about anything besides for Lois.
And then Kvar says, everybody knows Captain America is a middle-class ripoff of Superman.
No, he isn't. Captain America is completely different than Superman. Sure, they have the same like theme that they are like a beacon of hope, truth, and justice. But one thing, Captain America can bleed. He's like a normal human. It's just he has some superpowers from the serum.
Like enhanced strength, speed, all that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a ripoff at all. And also, Stanley did not even create Captain America. That's Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. So you can't blame him for that.
All right. Let's get back to this. Sour. I want to get your opinions on this. What did you think of the first Spider-Man movie?
Great. Fantastic, fantastic combat choreography. Music was good, kind of not really memorable to be honest, apart from the main theme, but I still liked it. Yeah, MJ was probably my least favorite thing about this film. While I do really love MJ, and I like her more than Gwen, I just, she was not that good in this film. And Green Goblin, yeah, should not have been the first villain, in my opinion, to start off a Spider-Man film.
How dare you guys? You guys
They
both.
should have saved him for later.
To me, Green Goblin was the best thing that they like, the best choice that they did for the first one. And all that. Because I don't think Green Goblin is the best Spider-Man villain. So I was like, yo, what? He's probably the second best one.
I don't think he's the best either, but I will say he's probably like the most popular along with Doc Ock.
Yeah. So
And
I
like
understand why
when you think of a Spider-Man villain, it's mainly him. But he's also his main villain probably. Yeah, definitely main villain. So
I understand why they included him in the first one. It's almost like, I know we spoke about this before we streamed in the backstage, like Joker in Batman 1989. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly like that. Like Joker is Batman's main villain, so it makes sense why the first Batman film has Joker in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I feel with Green Goblin.
I mean, no, I'm not saying you're wrong on that, and and I do think that for the time, I get it because again, this was before all the MCU stuff. Like they weren't building up to anything; it was just a movie. So I'm not saying you're wrong on that. Like, but if it came out today, I would have saved Green Goblin to a later movie. But at this point in time, I think it was fine.
Yeah, exactly. And Willem Dafoe did a great job at Norman Osborn and Green Goblin, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, there's some corny lines in there, but guess what? It was still good, in my opinion.
It's basically a product of the time.
If you have like a guy who, or just like if you have a guy, a character who's a monster, or just a character who's a guy playing as a monster, Willem Dafoe was probably like your go-to choice.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. My opinions on this movie, again, like with Ninja, this was basically the first superhero film I've watched, and I will say there are certain things in this movie that don't really age well for me, which we'll talk about when we get into like the problems and stuff we liked. But there were some issues in the movie that I do think that don't age well. There's some characters that don't really work, and I don't like some of their motivations. I don't like some of the designs that they went with, but I will say that for the time, I think this movie was very, very good, and I still think it's good today. I think this movie gets the charm of Spider-Man. It is cheesy. I will admit it is, but it came out in the early 2000s, so you kind of have to expect that.
Also, it
And
was trying to grab it from all ages.
yeah,
Kids and teens and adults. And I think it did a perfect job. Because
and
it does have dark moments, but yes, it does have light moments.
and X-Men and Blade were, yes, they were the first two like Marvel films, or like the first real Marvel films, like the two made big popular Marvel films, but Spider-Man was the thing that really jump-started it, because you have a character like Spider-Man who's like this huge character in the comics, and you had X-Men, but that was more like a team film, where this was more of like a solo film, and this movie hits it on all cylinders. And to me, I think personally there are things that in this movie that, yes, it don't really age well, but I will say it's still a fun movie. I still go back to this movie all the time, because it's one of those movies I just like to watch to just for entertainment. And that's all I can say. Like, is it as good as Spider-Man 2? No. I will always say no. Is it as good as Into the Spider-Verse? No. But as it's like as an origin film, it's very, very good. And I will always defend this film.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just get into it. Like, we'll start with the negatives, because there are kind of a few negatives. So we'll start with Sour. What were your negatives of the film?
My main negative, probably MJ, to be honest. She could have been a lot better, but she was just kind of underused. She was just like, "Oh, save me, Spider-Man." Nah, she's just used as one of those characters.
I actually disagree with that. I thought, well, with the whole MJ thing, I think personally, Gwen should have been in this film, because Gwen was Peter's first love.
Yeah.
So I think that should have happened personally, but that's just me. So it is a little bit of a negative with MJ being in it, but it still did not hurt the film for me at all. Basically, but if MJ was in the film, and she should have acted more like her character from the comic books.
Yeah. So I do have some problems with this movie. Again, like, it's not a perfect film. Like, there are movies like this movie was good, but there are some problems I'm like, that don't really work. So let's just start off with like this designs. Now, I like Spider-Man's look in the film. The Green Goblin's look, well, that's kind of a story. He kind of looked like a villain out of Power Rangers. It was
God. I actually adore Green Goblin's look in the film.
I mean, it's not a terrible design. Like, it's not like
Well, here's the question. Here's a question, Austin. What would you have made Green Goblin look like? All right, because they're like, okay, it needs to be a suit. Well, guess what? We don't want to do it like the comic books, because it's just basically, it's not like a metal suit at all. It's not like an armored. Well, you understand what I mean. It's not like a suit in which, oh yeah, I can be cut from and everything like that. And it would look a little bit silly in live action if you think about it, if they did the version from the comic books. So they had to change it up and make it look a bit realistic. So I actually adore the look, but yes, he does look like a Power Rangers villain.
Here, I'm looking up right now.
Like, I did not want to see, what should I say? So, Harry as Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I like the look of that Goblin, but they did not want to do that look. They did not want to do like the ultimate Spider-Man look for Green Goblin in the first film, basically. Also,
Yeah.
let me just easily tell you a huge positive with Spider-Man, the CGI.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. The
Because let
CGI,
me tell you, that glider, every single time that Green Goblin has that glider floating in air, I adored that. It looks like the glider was in air and everything.
yeah. And I'm actually gonna pull up a picture of what he should look like. Let's see here. I would want it to look something maybe like this.
Yeah, that look looks nice.
Oh, that is cool.
Hang on, there's
Wait, hold on.
this.
He kind of looks like a xenomorph, to be honest. Especially in that first picture.
Yeah, I think that look should have happened, actually, to be honest.
At least it's not this.
Yeah, that's why I
Oh
mean.
god, what is that?
That's more like the comics. That would not work in live action at all.
No, it would not. This looks horrifically bad. This also looks bad too.
Yeah, that looks horrible. I can't even see the face, basically. See, now that looks nice and all of that. They just wanted to make it more like an actual, like, almost like a robotic suit.
Yeah.
And that's what we got, basically. And I actually like that look. But yes, he does look like a Power Rangers villain.
Or heck, even something like this, I would have been okay with.
Yeah, they would have to change up the mouth, though.
Yeah.
Probably. No.
I'll be right back. Give me like a couple minutes here.
All right. But yeah, guys. What are some? Well, no. Let me think. All right. So yes, the cheesy dialogue is, I guess, a negative. But you gotta admit, this film is from the early 2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna have those cheesy parts. And does it age well? At parts it does, and some parts no. So I just look at it as a like early 2000 film, and I enjoy the film still. Like period.
Yeah.
I want to also get to some of Kavari's comments. So I'm sorry, Kavari, but I can't show the comments on screen because only Austin can do that. He was he was raising taxes. He went to school. He has a job. What are you guys talking about? Well, yeah, Superman actually did do that. That's actually true, Kavari. I'm just saying, like, we see more of that from Spider-Man. DC makes superheroes that you can look up to and inspire to be like. Show some respect, son. I am showing respect. Superman is a great superhero. I'm just saying that he is relatable at some parts, but he isn't all the time. All right, like Spider-Man, even the way that he fights is relatable. And then Kavari says, I still believe Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse is the best movie out of the bunch. Yes.
Same.
Yeah,
So
well, not to me, but yes, Into the Spider-Verse did rock.
So I'm back, and I wanted to get into a couple more negatives I had with the movie. I would say this is kind of like I did not like Green Goblin's motivation in the movie. I like Willem Dafoe. I think Willem Dafoe did a fantastic job, but I did not like Green Goblin's writing because the main purpose for why he becomes the Green Goblin is because Oscorp basically screwed him over and said, "No, we're not. You're basically out." And then he kills everybody in the span of 20 minutes. It's like, well, that's kind of pointless. And then
There could be more to that. Because I actually do like that point. I do like that he was like, yo, well, I'm going to get revenge for them, like screwing me over and all of that. I like that. But guess what? There should have been a guy left alive that he might have, like, not gotten. And he's like, I still got to get that guy. Still got to kill him and all of that. And that's what Spider-Man's trying to prevent.
like, I think that they should have maybe, kind of like, they should have done it sparingly. Like, he should have went after them one at a time rather than just in that one span.
Yeah.
And then I did not like that scene because, like, then they turn into skeletons. And I'm like, really? That's kind of stupid.
I like the way that Green Goblin acted and also him throwing the pumpkin bombs. I like that. But yeah, the skeletons, I get that. Yeah.
And I will say that I did not like how Green Goblin went from that and he's like, oh, me and you should work together, Spider-Man. And then, of course, Spider-Man says no. And then he's like, well, I'm going to kill you. It's like, well, then I get that. But then why would you magically just be like, well, we should work together? I don't know.
Because he found out that, well, it's because he's like, oh, well, Spider-Man is the only one that can stop me and everything. And then he had the idea, well, what if we, meaning Norman and the Goblin, in which they're basically the same exact people. Well, they are completely, but you understand what I mean. What if they turn Spider-Man on their side and everything so they don't have to kill him?
Yeah. But I'm not saying like that stuff was bad. It kind of felt like, well, you kind of got that motivation out of the way. And then, you're going into something else. It's like, it kind of feels like he's changing on a dime, which I get like the craziness thing. Like Willem Dafoe's performance really did showcase that. But the problem is with Willem, or I guess with the Green Goblin, is that he was very inconsistent.
Wake up, little spider. Wake up.
Like, I like his speeches in the movie were very, very like, even though I didn't find him intimidating, I still found Willem Dafoe to be like, okay, like I'm captivated.
I think he was better as Norman Osborn.
No, I agree with that. Absolutely. And I guess my real last negative with the movie, I did not like Mary Jane. I don't like Mary Jane in any of these movies, but I felt like, again,
Spider-Man 2? I actually liked MJ in Spider-Man 2 because I get why she acts like that way in Spider-Man 2.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying I didn't like her in Spider-Man 2. I just, again, as this entire franchise, I feel like she's one of those characters where I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Because, unfortunately, in any of these movies, she's not very likable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in this movie, she's not likable. I'm sorry, she really isn't. Spider-Man 3, she's definitely unlikable. Like, I understand why she acts the way she does, but still, no. That just, no.
Okay.
And that's just all I'm going to say on that because, I would be here forever just roasting Mary Jane. But let's talk about the positives. The action in this movie was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the stuff at Times Square, the fight at the in the building with the like it's on fire, and then and I liked the ending scene was really brutal. Like, damn. And I liked, again, I think the acting for the most part was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this for Tobey Maguire, I think he did very, very good as Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best Peter Parker. Like, when we talk about the best scenes in, like, Spider-Man, like, just, like, the scenes where there's no action, everything comes to his character as Peter Parker.
Yep.
Everything with Aunt May was great.
Mm-hmm.
I like, and even in this film, the first one, like, even though you don't really see him with Aunt May that much, every scene with Aunt May, and I will say this now, Aunt May was also, like, really, really good. Rosemary Harris is probably the best Aunt May for the simple fact that she looked like her.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the whole, speech of "you're not Superman" and such and such. And just like everything like that was so beautifully done. I like James Franco as Harry Osborn. He was like, again, I could see him as Harry Osborn. He looked like Willem Dafoe's son.
Yes.
That's what made it work. And I like the stuff with Uncle Ben. I didn't really like how Peter just snapped at him and said, stop pretending to be my father and such and such. I mean, I understand, he was getting he's supposed to be like the teenager, who's like, I don't like the whole, blah, 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 stop, questioning me and such and such. Like, I get that. But I'm like, you're going to talk like that to the guy who's basically been raising you for the last 13 years, or no, I would say maybe 17 years of your life.
Well, that's the thing. But even teenagers do that to their own moms and all of that.
Well, I know that.
I snapped on my own mom already a couple times, just like that in a way. Not as bad, but you understand what I mean. Like all teenagers do that.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the way he snapped at him was just like out of nowhere, and he's just like, and Uncle Ben didn't even like antagonize him. He's basically just helping him out, saying like, look, I know what you're going through. Like he understands like he doesn't really know what he's going through, but at the same time he's trying to help him out, and he basically tells him to screw off. Yeah. And I will say when Uncle Ben dies, like that is emotional because I think again. I know people, criticize Tobey Maguire for crying. Like I know I do, but in the times where he does cry at certain times, like I understand. Like when Peter cries, when Uncle Ben dies, like yeah, of course he's gonna cry. And then like I think he cried a couple times in Spider-Man 2, if I'm not mistaken. When we get to Spider-Man 2, I actually have a lot to say about Peter and Aunt May's stuff and Spider-Man 2 because that was done there fantastically, but. Even though I did not like the Green Goblin that much, I loved Willem Dafoe's performance. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He looked like Norman Osborn, and I think he acted like Norman Osborn very well. And I have no complaints with his performance. And we have to talk about the best performance in all these films, and that is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes, J.K. Simmons.
Spider-Man, he's a criminal. That's who he is.
He's like a public menace, and then Betty Brant's trying to say like, "Oh, your wife's on the phone," and then he hangs up on her.
Well, that's what he is. I love that. That's actually the first thing that you see him say. Who is Spider-Man? He's a criminal. That's who he is.
Oh, it's absolutely. Oh man. Then you have Robbie. I just love all of that stuff. It just
like the Daily Bugle is comic accurate in those films.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this right now. This movie is more memorable than Homecoming and Far From Home.
Yes. It is more comic accurate, and that is comic accurate. Like, that's also another thing. It's like you saw a little tease in the Amazing Spider-Man films about the Daily Bugle, but that was not comic accurate, basically. Like, to the Ultimate Spider-Man, yeah, but come on, just the newspaper. Also, I like that it feels like it's like in the 60s.
Yeah.
Because that's comic accurate too.
And I will say I actually like Spider-Man's costume here. It's not like again the best Spider-Man costume, but I would say it's pretty damn close. It's very comic book accurate. I understand the eyes don't move, and yeah, that's not really comic book accurate, but it still looks good.
To me, you guys can say Homecoming's not the best film, in which it's not the best Spider-Man film, but you gotta say the costume is the best one.
Yeah, that costume is great in Homecoming.
I mean, I'm not saying the costume is bad because I actually like the costume Homecoming, but when we look at the costumes overall, like you talk about the Raimi costume, you even talk about the Amazing Spider-Man costume from the second one, like that. Those are better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
The music in the film, I will say, I agree with Sour. It's not very memorable. There's a lot of besides the main theme, which again is memorable all in itself. But
yeah, like the credits in the beginning, always, the introduction, I like to call it.
I would say the main theme and like the ending song.
Yes, those are the main memorable things. I will say though, with Spider-Man 2, I think that's when you notice the theme more, and I think Spider-Man 3, even though Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite one out of the three, the music is actually memorable.
Yeah.
Because in Spider-Man 3, I can remember Venom's theme. I can remember Sandman's theme. I know those themes. Even New Goblin.
Yeah, that is true. And I have to go help my mom real quick. So can you guys
Yes.
entertain everybody?
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, overall, I think Spider-Man 3, yeah, sure, it's the least favorite out of the three, like the worst one out of the three. But let me tell you, it has the best music.
Definitely.
Because I can remember Venom's theme. Dun 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 dun, and then you have Sandman's theme where it's almost like boom, 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 and like that's what I mean. Like I think that's memorable, and the more memorable they are, the better. And Doc Ock's theme is pretty good in Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 2's theme is also very good as well. Like the soundtrack, but it does not really compare that much to Spider-Man 3's soundtrack. And I think that's like the only thing that Spider-Man 3 you actually have to say is better.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that you can say. Like, story, no. Acting, no. Music? Yeah.
And I know a lot of people make fun of the finger gun scene, but that is some pretty good music. That is pretty good music. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he's dancing, I'm like, this is not what the symbiote suit does, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's cringy funniness. That's
Yeah.
what I laugh at cringiness. That's what I do. That's just within my DNA. When I see cringy and okay, so breaking news: New Mutants streaming on Disney Plus September 4th. Oh heck yeah!
Wait, what?
Kavari's comment. Look at his latest comment.
Oh. Dang, I was hoping that I was gonna get a theatrical release.
Oh, well, guess what? At least we're actually gonna see it.
Yeah, true. It won't make as much money though. So.
It might.
Ooh. Oh, did you hear Will Smith's wife cheated on him?
Really?
Yeah. I feel bad for the guy. You could tell he loved her.
But then I thought I heard something about Will Smith cheating on her with Margaret Robbie.
Maybe, or maybe that was before they got together. Wait, when did they get together again? I forget.
I'm actually gonna look it up. I'll be right back. Have to go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah. So yeah, That does suck if he didn't cheat on her. That does suck for him. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite, though, out of all three of them. It's not my favorite. It's actually my second favorite Spider-Man film of all time, but if I had to choose out of them three, definitely Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 3 is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I know it's bad, but I had so much fun in watching it. Like how it's so bad that it's good, kind of like The Room. I compare those two movies a lot.
Wait, what's your favorite Spider-Man film out of the trilogy?
Spider-Man 2
Then what is it next?
and Spider-Man 1.
And then 3. But
Yeah, but I
guess what?
still like 3.
I still like 3. I think it's a 7.5. Just because
Yeah.
I had fun with it. Like,
I
yeah,
know it's
I
bad,
know
but
it's
I
bad.
had
I
fun
know
with
it's
it.
not comic accurate, but guess what? It was still god darn fun
Yeah.
of a film. And also, it's funny, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. It's so bad that's good. I just
Yeah.
said that I
Yeah,
compared
yeah,
and
yeah.
I
It's like
compared that
Batman
movie
and
with
Robin.
The Room so much.
It's like
Spider-Man
Batman and Robin, where it's so bad it's good.
But I compare that movie mainly with The Room. That's like The
Oh, I
Room is the
compare it to
definition
Batman and
of
Robin.
so bad it's good.
I just compare it to Batman and Robin. Is Austin still muted?
I don't know if he's muted, but he's not here.
Okay. Well, that's actually good news, Kavari, because I really want to watch New Mutants. And also, isn't September 4th, isn't that a holiday?
September 4th is some
Labor
time from
Day?
now. Not too long, but still.
Isn't that Labor Day?
What?
Isn't that Labor Day?
I don't know.
If that is Labor Day, then yes, it will get money on Disney Plus. Most people will probably watch it. But I don't know how well it's gonna do on there. Because, like some people might be like, "Oh, well, guess what? Maybe I'm just gonna watch a Star Wars film or another Marvel film or something like that on the holiday." But I don't know. Hey, at least I can watch it at my house.
Yeah.
I can be like, you know what? This is gonna be the last X-Men film for a while, and I'm gonna just chill in my house and watch it. To be honest, Dark Phoenix was not that bad, but let me just tell you, Dark Phoenix, it did not deserve to be a theatrical release, in my opinion.
No.
So, I don't know about New Mutants though, because it does look good. Very good. But then some shots I actually don't like. But I am really excited to watch it because number one, I do like the New Mutants from the comics. Number two, it's a Marvel film, and it is the last one of the X-Men series of the 20th Century Fox. And number three, we're actually gonna get a new Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's been so long. To me, Far From Home should have came out this year, now that I think about it.
It probably would have been delayed, to be honest.
Yeah, but still, it would have actually improved that film, in my opinion. Yo,
Yeah.
what? It's a classic Marvel movie, but guess what? It saved me during the pandemic. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I'm just trying to keep on stalling till possible here. So how's your day, Ryan?
My day's been going pretty good.
That's always good. Also, guys, I know Kavari really doesn't give a crap, but guess what? We're gonna watch Ninjago season 4 today, so there will probably be a review out tomorrow. I meant a review out, tomorrow night. So just want to say that right now. And Galactic Chat is gonna be officially on Thursday night. Okay?
Okay.
Because I'm sorry, but we were too busy this week. And at first I was thinking, well, I'll just delay till today. But then I'm like, well, now Austin's saying that he got his power back on and we're all good now. We're not as busy today. So we're actually going to try and watch season 4 today.
What time? What about like around 7:30?
Well, I don't know. I know it has 10 episodes, so we might have to start a little bit early, like maybe after supper, to be honest.
I can't do that. I gotta leave at around 6.
Well, I don't know for sure, okay? Maybe you'll just have to jump on me. So you said that you remember a little bit of the season.
Yeah.
Or else I'll just catch you up.
Yeah.
Because I'm just in the mood for a movie night. Or a season night, I don't know. Movie night with the boys. Shame. So yeah,
So, wonder how many people are watching.
I don't know how many people are actually watching because we can't see.
Yeah.
Here, I'm actually gonna go on YouTube right now. Probably Kavari is the only one.
Maybe.
Yeah, Kavari's the only one, it seems like. We have 2 likes on the stream. Come on, guys, get that up there.
I'll be back.
Okay, well, now Ryan's gonna leave. Man, oh man, guys. Man, oh man. What the heck? And I have something proud to say. Our bro, Hanzo, just reached 100 subscribers. So yeah, I just want to say that. Woohoo! I'm just looking at some stuff. But yeah, oh, Ryan said, hey. Alright, so he's still here. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, guys, I know this is very boring. If you guys have anything to say in the live chat, please do say so. It does mean a lot to Austin, me, and Ryan, aka Sour. It does really mean a lot. And please don't think that Stanley is sticking the middle finger right at you. That's just Austin right there. And no, don't you dare take it that Austin is sticking sticking the finger right at you. No. That was that the original Spider-Man script that he was going to turn into the human spider, and it was going to be a little bit like the sixth-armed Spider-Man, in which we saw from the comics, and that would have been a rated R horror film. So yeah, just want to say that right now. So yeah, while we're live, of course. So then I also want to say, yeah, there's really nothing to say. So I'm just waiting for Austin and for Austin to put Sour and for him to be ready. So then we can start on Spider-Man 2. So yeah, guys. But yeah, really nothing much happened. Nothing much at all. So yeah. So yeah. There's really nothing much. Trying to find something to talk about, but there's really no news. The New Mutants thing is really good, though.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's perfectly fine. I was trying to stall them.
All right, now we're definitely going past 2 hours. I can already tell.
All right, well, that's fine.
All right, so where was I here? I don't think I really have anything else to say. Oh yeah, the ending of the film. Like usually at the end of the film, you usually have your how would I say it? It's basically like, you know, the guy gets the girl in the end, but in this film, the guy does not get the girl in the end. Instead, Peter does the more heroic thing. Is like, you know what? No, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm always gonna be your friend, but as far as being something more, nah. I'm like, that actually was kind of innovative in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you know what? Actually, kind of what MJ kind of actually made me remember in this film of Lois in a way.
Yeah.
That, yeah, she's addicted to Clark and everything. That's technically how I felt with MJ in a way. But yeah, that's really all. I think all of us don't have any more to say about Spider-Man that we haven't really already said. Besides, for it was a good film, not the best to most people, but it was still good.
So let's just get into our final ratings. We'll let Sour go first because he kind of was in the Phantom Zone unintentionally.
Yeah, I'd probably give this mid-8, probably.
I give it a 9.
I'm gonna give it a 7, only because again there were just like those problems. Again, the movie doesn't really age well, but at the same time, I could still watch this movie.
Also, I want to say that, yes, Infinity War's also a 9, guys. So just saying that it does go right there with them because it is my second favorite comic book film. But the next comic book film is actually a 10, and that is the next one that we are talking about.
Yes, and the next movie we're going to be talking about is Spider-Man 2, which by many people consider this film to be the best Spider-Man movie and the best comic book movie ever made. Now,
wait, what did you say?
Now, I was going to say that, is this movie the best superhero movie ever made? Probably.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm actually with that. I'm actually with that completely because this is technically what it's shown to be. I think 1 and 2, if you're just saying if they're one huge movie, 1 and 2, I think both of them define what a superhero is.
Absolutely.
And what a superhero movie should be. And what a hero is. And it defines basically everything and what a true villain should be like, too. Because in the first one, you got the crazy one, which is still smart in a way, but still crazy. And same thing with 2, but he's a lot more smarter.
Absolutely. Kavari, I did not forget. I will get to your questions as soon as we're done because
Yeah,
we're an
what's the
hour and
question?
30 in, and we've barely gotten to Spider-Man 2. And besides, I missed a lot, so we will answer your questions. It's just right now we just want to get this stuff done.
Wait, no, Kavari, we got all your questions. We got all of them. Didn't we, Ryan?
I think.
Didn't we do everything?
Well, me and you did.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's saying that I did, maybe.
Here, I'm actually going to see. Maybe it was... Well, no, he's a moderator, so he would get that if it was something that he cursed in or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. But back to...
And he also gave this the first Spider-Man movie a 7.
Well, I respect everyone's opinions on that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I guess there was like a rumor that Jake Gyllenhaal was supposed to replace Tobey Maguire because Tobey Maguire got injured, and then Tobey was able to do it. But I want to ask, like, do you think this movie would have been drastically different if Jake Gyllenhaal became Peter Parker in this movie?
It would have felt different, and let me just be honest. I think it would have, like, I don't know if he would have pulled it as a good Spider-Man or good Peter Parker. That's the thing. Like, we don't know. So
it's basically one of those big what-ifs.
Yeah, like, I can't answer that.
That's honest. Fine. So let's just get right into this. Sour, I'll let you go first. What do you think of this movie?
It's definitely one of the best superhero films of all time. Almost everything about it. No, everything about it is great.
Like, even MJ was good in it, because then it shows you that, yeah, if you don't get the girl, guess what? The girl will just go after another person.
That's exactly right. And let me just say, this is one of those movies where there is no negatives at all. Like, it would basically be nitpicky if I said, well, this stuff doesn't work. No, that everything in this movie works.
And the running time worked. Everything really works.
And you know what? Let's not even talk about the positives and negatives. Let's just talk about the movie overall, because there's so much to talk about.
All right. This is my personal favorite comic book film of all time, guys. Just saying that right now. Doc Ock, let me just tell you, he was one of the best things in this film. All right.
And there's so many good things.
Entire character. Yeah. And also, just the train fight.
Oh my god, the train fight. That was epic.
That was, to me, like, one of the best things in which I've ever seen in cinema, to be honest. And then it also gives the people of New York some characteristics too, because they said, oh, we won't tell you who you are or anything.
Yeah,
like, they saved Spider-Man. They saved Peter. Or else Peter would just died right there. He was faint, like he was going to faint and then he was going to fall off. But no, they grabbed onto him. And then they found out who he was as just a normal kid. I remember someone's like, oh, he's just a normal kid. Maybe like a year, maybe a year older than my own son. And stuff like that. And I mean, like, I just like that the people of New York, even the little kid, which said, we promise we won't tell anyone, Spider-Man. And that shows how good people are and how people should, like, that's one of the things right there that I really do enjoy, that we see. And then also even Jameson, he in this film, I think this is his best. Because one, he sees, what if Spider-Man was no more? He's like, I chased him out of the street. And then like a couple minutes later, he's like, oh, sure, I should have not even done that. Should have not done anything. And then we saw Peter got the suit and everything. He's like, oh, gosh damn it. I hate
He's
you.
like, because I love how, like, in that scene, he starts off calm. He's like, Spider-Man was a hero. And then, like, the suit gets stolen. He's like, a thief! A criminal!
Yeah.
I want Spider-Man!
Yeah, exactly. And that is Jameson from the comics right there. Completely, 100%. Also, that's a little bit like the
And let me just say, and I everything you've...
right there, too, with James.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also, Ninja, your mic is a little low.
Oh, wait, it is? Sure. What about now?
All right, it's better.
All right. Thank you for
And I wanted to say that everything that you said is basically what I would have said, is that Doc Ock is probably the best villain in any Spider-Man movie. His motivation was on point. Every action sequence he was in was great. Alfred Molina did a fantastic job. His performance was phenomenal.
Yes. And Harry was at his best in this film also.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody was at their best in this film because the writing was so good.
And let's get into one thing. Aunt May.
Holy shit.
Just Aunt May's whole character. This was fully comic accurate in this one completely.
Kora says my DC rumors and Aquaman quest. Yes, I will get to them as soon as we're done with the main topic. Kavari says I disagree. The Dark Knight is the gold standard for good comic book movies. Here's the thing. I love the Dark Knight. I will say that. However, I consider the Dark Knight and Spider-Man 2 two different superhero films. Because the Dark Knight is more like a crime drama-ish superhero film, whereas with Spider-Man 2, yeah, and with Spider-Man 2, it's more like a comic book film, like an actual,
more like a full-on superhero film. That's normal. So, like even the entire Dark Knight trilogy doesn't even feel like a comic book film in a way, like the comic book films. It feels more like a detective-ish thing, like more of a detective films than all of that. That they're like Batman Begins is like a comic book film. I will say Batman Begins is, but I mean like for Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, no.
And let me just say, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Like, I would say it's one of the best trilogies ever because each film tried to top one another. And with the Raimi trilogy, I will say that it's not a good trilogy because the first two are phenomenal, while the third one is end. Like, I know a lot of people say that about the Dark Knight trilogy because, with Dark Knight Rises, but Dark Knight Rises was actually a better movie than most people make it out to be.
Yeah.
But I could understand where Kavari is coming from with that. Because, the Dark Knight was a great movie. I still say it's a great movie.
Think, though, with The Dark Knight Rises, Bane should have been more comic accurate. He should have had the Venom, the toxic stuff.
Yeah, but that's just like a nitpicky thing. Like, I didn't mind that at all.
No. I'm just saying, like, most comic book fans would nitpick that, but they didn't. So that's a little bit of a surprise right there.
Well, see, my thing is I won't start nitpicking stuff unless the movie is really good. Like with Dark Knight Rises, I didn't nitpick anything because I was engrossed in the movie. I didn't find any problems with it. Every time I watch The Dark Knight Rises, I'm always like, you know what? This movie is good to the point where I don't think about that stuff. Yeah, like with Spider-Man 3, for example, that movie is bad to the point where I'm like nitpicking stuff like, oh yeah, this is bad. This is bad. This doesn't work.
Yes. But let's go back to the best Spider-Man film, or one of the best at least. That's Spider-Man 2.
The Aunt May stuff. absolutely killed it, man.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Like, I'm sorry, but the scene where Peter and Aunt May, like, in the house with Peter talking to Aunt May about, what happened to Uncle Ben and all that stuff, and he's confessing what happened, I'm like, that scene's emotional. Like, when we talk about the best, like, Spider-Man, like, scenes, like, I know people, like, say, oh, the Gwen Stacy death scene or, the stuff in the XU films, but we don't talk about the Aunt May stuff in Spider-Man 2 that much. When Aunt May is the best character, one of the best characters in that trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Every scene she was in, she killed it. She was memorable. Her speeches, especially the speech which I'll get into in a little bit, but Aunt May in this entire trilogy was like, to me, that's what Aunt May is supposed to be.
Yep, absolutely.
And when you get to that scene about Uncle Ben, it's like you get like it's teary-eyed. Like you get teary-eyed because it's like Peter's finally confessing something that's been eating at him for the last couple years at this point. And finally confessing up saying like, look, it was my fault. Aunt May walks away, and you're going, oh, what's going to happen? And then when you get to that scene where Aunt May's like, I forgive you, and then the kid goes up to Peter saying, what happened to Spider-Man? Where is he? And Peter's like, I don't know. And Aunt May gives him that speech of, I believe there's a hero in all of us. To me, that is probably the best speech in any superhero film.
Yeah. Also, how dare you, Aunt? You sold his comic book collection.
Oh, I'm sorry, but that was funny. She was
I just need to throw that in there.
Hey, don't listen. Aunt May, that's her house.
No, I'm playing around. I'm playing around, boy. Don't you dare get me annoyed at you now.
No, I know. And actually, let me say that the comedy in this film, I will say, actually works because it's like that stuff is just like it's the small stuff that makes you laugh. It's like that scene in the bank before Doc Ock shows up. She's like, "I want a free toaster," and he's like, "Well, we can't really accept this."
And here's another thing in which actually Adam pointed out. And how dare you, Adam? How dare you? You, of course, had to find something wrong with this perfect film. Why did Doc Ock go to the bank at all? Well, he could have just stole the stuff.
To have a cool action sequence.
Boom. There's your answer. Now shut up and love the movie.
Yeah. Shut up and just accept that. Okay. That's one thing. How dare you?
I'm sorry. Nothing tops the action in this movie. Like I know people are saying, like here's the thing. Everybody says like, oh well, the action in this movie is good. In all the other Spider-Man movies, no one talks about that action because that action was okay or it's not that good. Like let's take Amazing Spider-Man 2 for example. The Times Square stuff was cool. I will admit that. But the last action sequence with Electro, that was like a music video. And I'm like, oh, come on, really?
I do like the action sequence with Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Even though that was rushed, I still liked it. Okay?
I mean, the action sequence was okay. Like, I won't, like, the Goblin stuff was fine. But the last action sequence with Electro, I'm like, yeah, this is dumb. Because when he goes da 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 da, like that stuff to me just was like, oh, really? Come on.
Also, I'm gonna actually say though, guys, that my main problem with Amazing Spider-Man 2 is Electro. That's like one of the only problems with that. But let me tell you guys that Electro's theme in that film, I love.
Oh no, I absolutely. And
I love that theme. Like I really love that theme, and I can play it anytime. And I can imagine, oh my god, I'm Electro.
Yeah, and Kavari says the Dark Knight transcends. Kavari says the Dark Knight transcends the comic book genre. Spider-Man did not transcend the comic book genre. It was just another normal superhero film movie.
No.
Kavari,
I'm going to disagree on that completely, Kavari. One thing, you have not gotten the Dark Knight trilogy without Spider-Man. Okay?
like let me say this here. When we talk about superhero films that like raise the bar, Spider-Man 2 basically raised the bar on what a
That
superhero movie
success.
needs to be.
So without that success, you would not have the MCU. You would not have the Dark Knight trilogy. You would not have anything like that. Because Spider-Man started those themes of what a true hero is, and it carries through without each film. Even Spider-Man 3 has a good theme and all of that. So without Sam Raimi's trilogy, there will be no Dark Knight trilogy for the most part. Like, yes, Batman Begins did start before Spider-Man 3, but it would have not been the same without the first Spider-Man film. All right. And also, I want to point out something too with the first Spider-Man film. The first Spider-Man film came out the following year after 9/11. Okay. And you know how well that did because of that? Because it united New Yorkers. It just brought New Yorkers a feeling. So they were like, you know what, we're going to watch it because this is about our city and all. So I just want to also point
Yeah, like I agree with you on that. I'm actually looking up the box office stuff for the first Spider-Man movie. Let me see here. Its budget was 139 million, and it made 825 million at the box office.
Damn.
And if we look at Spider-Man 2's box office, it had a $200 million budget, and it made 789 million at the box office. So that was also a success.
Yeah, it was.
And with Spider-Man 3,
that was even more of a success. Spider-Man 3.
yeah, it made about 895 million at the box office on a $250 million budget. So that was also a success. Then when you look at the Amazing Spider-Man, it made 230 million at budget with a 757 million box office. Now, when we look at the box office for Amazing Spider-Man 2, it made 709 million on a $293 million budget. So it's not like so Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't necessarily fail at the box office. Like, it still did good, but it is technically the lowest grossing Spider-Man movie to date, even though it did well.
Because of that, they stopped everything. And I'm actually kind of glad that they stopped, or else the Clone Saga would have happened.
Yeah, like, how is Sony going to do the Clone Saga right when they couldn't even do Venom right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, to me, I don't trust Sony with anything, or at least with some things.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Let's see here. Kavar says you're wrong, Ninja. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was inspired by Superman Returns. When did Superman Returns come out?
In the wait, Superman Returns. Superman Returns came out 2006.
Yeah, that came out 06.
So that's actually.
You want to know what's funny? Superman Returns actually bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
Oof.
Like,
and you know why? Because of the other Superman films. Because 3 and 4 were not that good.
Yeah, and it's sad because I thought Superman Returns was actually not that bad of a movie.
It was not that bad at all. It felt like a actual good sequel, possibly to Superman 2.
Yeah, and I want to say that Brandon Routh was actually a good Superman.
Also, Lex in that film rocked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no argument for me there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
from the beginning of the film to the end with Lex, because I'm pretty sure the beginning scene is with Lex. I mean, like,
I think so. I haven't seen Superman Returns in a while, so
yeah, I really haven't, but I do remember him. So yeah, it just bombed because of the other ones. But then Superman, I mean, Man of Steel was a success. I'm pretty sure Man of Steel was.
I think it was. Let me look. I know this turned into me looking at box office.
I'm pretty sure Man of Steel was.
It made $668 million on a $225 million budget. Yeah, it was a success for the most part.
And then Batman vs Superman was Batman vs Superman. I know that was a success, but the bad ratings was my mistake. Not Spider-Man. I meant not Superman Returns. It was Superman 2.
That stuff I could see. That stuff
I can see that, but you know what? I have to think on that. Like number one, you have to say Superman, 1978. The original Superman. You have to say that was a success. You have to say Superman 2 was a success, and Batman 1989. You have to say those films were successful. And then
Here's a question. Which place is better, Gotham or Metropolis?
Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham.
I don't care if anyone disagrees with me on that. Gotham is a lot better.
Yeah,
Metropolis is boring.
True.
Metropolis is boring. There's barely no crime besides for Lex.
Yeah.
Well, then you get other criminals in Gotham, like Penguin. You might see robot penguins, Riddler coming in, something like that. Something weird, and I'm like, yeah.
And Metropolis just seems like such a rich, high society place. It's just so boring.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Exactly.
Well, Gotham actually has character to it.
Yes, exactly. And it has problems.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, actually going back to Spider-Man 2, the music, phenomenal.
Yes.
The intro, I love the intro with, like, the artwork and stuff. That was very cool. I like the ending. Even though I do feel like the ending's not as good as the first Spider-Man movie, I feel like it was a very satisfying ending.
Oh, I liked that you saw MJ and that was it.
Yeah.
Do you remember you saw MJ? She's like, "Go get them, Tiger," and then that's the end. Then you just see a shot of her looking, and then bam, it's done. Man, oh man, I just love it when she says, "Go get them, Tiger."
Oh, absolutely.
But he's a spider, not a tiger.
No, he's
You should have said, "Go get him, spider."
He's Tiger Man now.
And this is actually something I
He's
saw.
Tiger Man now.
With the first two Spider-Man movies, it ended with, Spider-Man swinging away, which, they both looked absolutely fantastic. Especially with the second one, where, like, you have all that, helicopters and stuff like that. That was cool. I liked, and going back to Harry's stuff, I loved Harry in this film, and I liked how when he saw Peter, like, you could just look. Like, that scene could have been bad, but I think the acting, oh, man, that was so perfect. So, like, his facial expression was, like, incredible. And then when Harry goes, you killed my father, like, you see the emotion in his voice and, like, just how he looked.
Yeah.
And
you are correct, Kavari. You're more likely to get robbed in Gotham than Metropolis. Yes.
Yeah,
what?
Probably.
Gotham
Can I just say,
more interesting, though.
Can I just say, I hate The Amazing Spider-Man 2, as you all know. But my favorite part of that, and it's also as one of my favorite parts in any Spider-Man film, is Gwen's death.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Like, Gwen's death was phenomenally done.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I
don't know why you hate it though, Ryan. the Amazing Spider-Man 2 because
Bad
it is,
story, bad villains. Yeah.
but it's comic accurate though.
Yeah, but I just don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, that's perfectly fine, my friend. I mean, I will say The Amazing Spider-Man 2
As
is
long
not.
as you don't call it trash, I'm fine with your opinion.
Now, with The Amazing
There are some
Spider-Man
good
2,
things.
I like. See, with Amazing Spider-Man 2, I feel like it's underrated because everybody's like, oh, well, this movie's terrible. I don't think that at all. Like, yes, it has bad parts, but it's not like Spider-Man 3 where I, like, every time I watch it, I hate it.
The only, I guess, nitpicky stuff was that Electro did not have a goal. Alright? Like, he's like, in one scene, he's like,
No, he didn't. And I will say that he didn't. Electro wants to be.
It's like he's a huge fan of Spider-Man and everything. And then it's like, oh, I now want to be popular. And then when he does become popular, he thinks Spider-Man took that away from him. And he's like, you shitted on me. So now I'm going to shit on you back. And I'm like, well, what the heck? You were such a huge fan of Spider-Man. Why are you like, oh, well, guess what? Now I want to be popular. I don't care about Spider-Man anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely, yeah, that was.
And I mean, one, if you really actually wanted to, you could just make that be Electro's goal. He wants to be popular. Okay, then don't make him be a Spider-Man freak. Okay,
yeah,
that's addicted to Spider-Man. Because guess what? That actually could have worked. Him just saying, someday I'm going to change the world. Someday everyone will look down at me and I want to be popular. I want to be like a god. Then, during the Electro and Spider-Man fight, it would have actually made sense when he said, and they will bow to me like a god. It would have made sense. But guess what? They did not make Electro have a main goal because then, when Harry broke him out, Harry treated him like a slave and he was a puppet from Harry. That's my only main negative. And yes, there are some things that they just cramped so much into the film. It feels like a Sinister Six setup film. That's the only. Those are like the negatives. Those are the only negatives. I like Goblin in that film. I like Rhino in that film. I like all the other things. I like Emma Stone the best in that film. I like Peter Parker. I like his parents' story, and it does make sense. And everything. But guess what? Electro just is not that good as a villain because they did not write his character correctly.
The one thing I will say about Electro is I liked his design in the film.
Yes, his design was better than the comic books.
Yeah, Electro's design was really good. That's the only thing that I like about him.
But he should have had a
I agree with you on all your points except for the Rhino, and I will explain why. First of all, they advertised him on the poster. So
yeah, they should have not advertised him.
He was barely in the movie. Do not advertise him. Because that to me is false advertising.
They should have not advertised him on the poster.
Because to me, that's the problem with certain movies that they false advertise.
Or
no,
they
like
should have kept it a surprise that you were actually What?
Yeah, if you didn't show him in the poster or the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to me, if they didn't do that, I would have liked it more.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help.
I would have made Rhino's design a little bit better, to be honest. He would have been looking like Juggernaut in a way.
Yeah.
Because why he's like Spider-Man's Juggernaut.
Yeah. And I want to say if the Amazing Spider-Man 3 came out and you saw at the beginning of that film where he beats Rhino, I would like Rhino more, but the problem is that there's no Amazing Spider-Man 3. It ended on a cliffhanger. It doesn't work.
Well, it kind of worked. Like, to me, it worked, the end, because it was badass and everything. And it actually felt like maybe a comic book ending, too. But, yeah, a cliffhanger, but Rhino served a purpose. That
We can
Spider-Man...
watch Ninjago at 6 now because my guitar lesson has been canceled.
Oh, yeah, Ninjago season 4.
I might have to take a rain check because my mom just came home from the hospital and I gotta help her out with some things.
Okay. A rain check.
I mean, I can check. I'm not saying it's a definite I'm definitely not gonna watch. I'm just saying it's more of a maybe.
Okay.
Well, you just contact me if you can or not.
Okay.
I'm just saying I would like to, so we can have a review out tomorrow, because one little thing, I have camp tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long are you gonna be gone?
The whole day, besides for... yeah, the whole day. So that's why I'm trying to watch. That's why I wanted to start before tomorrow. But yeah, let's continue.
I don't think there's really anything else we can really say about Spider-Man 2. Do you want to give your final ratings on this film?
10, just because of everything.
Okay. Sour, what about you?
9.
I'm actually going to go with 9 as well. If it was a letter grade, I'd give it an A. But it's out of 10.
Yeah. Yep.
And now we talk. Since we're talking about the Raimi films, I guess we could talk a little bit about Spider-Man 3. Now, we did talk about this in the first live discussion, so we're not really going to go in depth here. But I figure we can talk a little bit about it since we're talking about the Raimi films. With this movie, I hate it more and more every time I watch it.
Oh, actually, as I watch it, I enjoy it, but it just stays the same, to be honest.
I'm sorry, but this movie has so many problems and just so many things that infuriate me. It's ridiculous.
Okay. I respect that.
I'm sorry, but every time I see the bridge scene or that twist scene where they're doing the twist, I'm like, oh, come on. This is pointless. Why was it in the movie?
Yeah, to be honest, I'd rather Peter Parker dancing, being emo, than the bridge scene or the twist.
And let me just say that
just because MJ is so unlike her character in Spider-Man 3, that is an asshole. She's just being a total asshole.
Yeah,
she's like,
and let me say this.
Yo, what? You kissed me? Now I'm gonna go to your best friend. We're gonna just have some fun with each other.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, here's what I'm gonna say. There are a few good things. I will give this movie credit. There are a few good things, but you can say about any movie.
Yeah, Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman was good. I liked the action. I liked Aunt May. I liked J. Jonah Jameson. That's about it. I did not like Peter in this movie. He was kind of a dick. I did not like Mary Jane. Mary Jane is at her worst here. I liked Harry, but
right after her best.
Yeah, and Harry gets amnesia. Didn't care for that. I didn't like. So I liked how he and Peter team up at the end, but it just feels so forced. And it doesn't even make any sense.
Also, why did the butler
goes, oh well,
tell.
the blade that pierced his body.
Yeah, finally tell. Now, I like that scene.
Yeah.
Yo, my God. Why could you tell him at Spider-Man 1, even?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, now all of a sudden.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Like, my God. Okay, what do you have to say about that, Ryan? Ryan, what do you have to say about that?
What? I was gone for a bit.
Let's talk a little bit about Spider-Man 3.
No. This is definitely one of my guilty pleasures. It's a bad movie, but I had so much fun watching it.
Yeah. Alright, so you keep on talking. I actually have to go get some of my supper right now. And Austin, I think, got a text from his mom quickly.
Okay.
So just
So that's number 3. It is a bad film. Yes, I know. There are a lot of problems with it. My God, if I would be lying if I didn't say, if I said I did not have any fun with it, because I did. Peter was such a dick that it was funny to watch almost all the time, apart from the bar scene. Yeah, my least favorite part about this is Venom. He was bad. Just no, not good. But Sandman was really good. Although I did not like the fact that he was the one that killed Uncle Ben. It's like, what? It's kind of dumb. But I did. Other than that, I really liked his character. MJ was a bitch though. MJ was a bitch. To be honest, really. Yeah, this is my least favorite part. Well, MJ is her worst is definitely in this film, Spider-Man 3. And I just really had a lot of fun with it though. Like I said before, I compare this with The Room. I've said that so many times, but yeah, it's so funny. It's like, oh, make me. I forget the exact quote, but it was something like Peter was telling his neighbor who had a crush on him with like, uh, no nuts or something like that. Yeah, cookies with nuts while talking on the phone. That was just so funny to me. So yeah, all this movie boils down is just funny, really. It's not cinema. It's not a masterpiece for like any part. Like story is not a masterpiece. Characters aren't masterpiece. Uh, cinematography is just isn't a masterpiece. But it was just so funny to me.
cinematography was okay. It was still
What?
okay. The cinematography. I thought it was okay.
I liked the cinematography, but it wasn't anything special, like fantastic,
Yeah, it was not like Star Wars.
or like 1917.
Yeah. All the Star Wars films had great cinematography. Alright. Like, yeah.
My favorite one though, definitely A New Hope had the best cinematography in my opinion out of all of them.
Yeah.
All of them
you,
had good cinematography, not like anything like holy crap, this is fantastic. Apart from A New Hope.
yeah, well, you also have to say, yeah, I know that you don't like The Last Jedi, but you have to say that film has great cinematography.
It wasn't that great, but it was good.
No, it was great. It was great. Don't you dare say that. Everyone knows that's a great cinematography.
No, I just think it's pretty good.
Also, the look of The Last Jedi is great. It's the best looking Star Wars film. With the CGI effects and everything.
I agree with that. Even though I don't.
Yeah,
even though.
Yeah, you might not like the film, but guess what? you have to admit it's the best looking Star Wars film. That and The Rise of Skywalker.
No, I agree with that. But to go back into Spider-Man 3, there's actually a lot more negatives. Like Gwen in this movie is not Gwen. I did not like Venom. Venom was poorly done.
This is what Gwen I felt like with Gwen. Gwen's like, okay, I'll go out with you. I don't give a crap. And then she was that stupid that she did not know, oh, you're just going out with me? You don't care about me at all. It's all because you want to impress MJ. How dare you? And I mean, like, she was annoying too in this film.
I'm
like, that's not Gwen. Gwen is a sweet, kind girl that's always for Peter and everything. That's not Gwen. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith had great cinematography. I just want to get to Kavari's comment.
Yeah.
Kavari says, breaking news, George Lucas's wife could be in as CEO of WB and current CEO and Snaronoff could be out. And Kavari says, who Lucas's wife? Can you pull up a photo? Sure. Where did you get this news, Kavari?
Yeah, it's a cosmic book news like you always give me.
Is it his more recent wife?
I'm gonna look it up.
No, I got it. I found it.
Is it actually true?
I don't know. Yeah, that's his wife.
Yep. I don't see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
I'm gonna be honest, she looks good looking when she's 51.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He says he got it from the Wire report.
Okay. Here, I'm actually gonna go on the news thing. Just wait a second.
Now let's see.
No, I don't see it at all. Kavari, that's fake news actually, because they reported on the sequel trilogy thing. Also, that's fake news.
Does she have any movie production experience? I don't know.
Here, let me see quickly. My boy probably, yeah, you probably gotta go with that. She is the former chairwoman of DreamWorks.
Oh, really?
DreamWorks. Yeah, they're saying that of DreamWorks. So that means she worked on Megamind and other films like that. How to Train Your Dragon.
Wow.
Yeah, it says that she is the current chairwoman of DreamWorks Animation.
Wait, who is?
George Lucas's wife.
Oh.
I heard an echo.
Melody.
Yeah, name. It must be an android.
Well, I'm not hearing it now, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I just want to finish up with Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is probably the most disappointing movie I've ever seen, especially coming off of 2. Like, it was just complete disappointment. And it might be in my worst. I don't know if it would be in a worst of list for me because, well, the movie, I will admit, has good things, but every bad movie at least has a decent thing in it. So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to go with the overall picture of the film. I think Spider-Man 3 would probably in my top 10 most disappointing films of all time. And I think right now I'm probably going to give it a 4. Just because I found the movie to be absolute. I can't really watch this film without getting upset. And, even though there are good scenes in the movie, to me, it's like there's not enough in the movie that would keep me interested. So it's a 4.
Okay. All right, I respect your opinion. Mine is 7.5.
Yeah, mine's a 7.
It's perfectly
I'd say
fine.
a 7, to be honest.
All right, so we're officially done with our Spider-Man reviews.
Yay.
So now we can get into Kavari's comments with the DC stuff.
All right.
We're gonna get through that, and because we went way past the hour mark. We're gonna get these done, and then we're probably gonna end it.
Also, we have some watching to do, also possibly. So yeah.
Kavari says got some HBO Max Green Lantern news. So rumors has it that James Marsden is in the running as Hal Jordan, Michael J. White as John Stewart. What are your thoughts on these possible castings? James Marsden.
I don't know who James Marsden is.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wait, what movie was he in? He was in Saved by the Bell. Oh boy. All right, so here are the films that he's been in. He was actually in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh. Wait a second. I think I might know him. Who did he portray in that film?
James Marsden. Going to cast. He was Thomas Michael Watkowski, the sheriff.
Oh, then you know what? I'm for that actually. I like that. Yeah.
Also, fun fact: he was actually Cyclops in the X-Men series.
Oh, then I'm actually for that completely.
And he was also in Superman Returns.
Oh, I'm for that.
And then Michael J. White. I've heard of Michael J. White.
Yeah, I heard of that too. Just tell me some films and I'll probably.
We got Mike. All right, he looks the part so far. He was. What was he in? Let's see here. He's actually got a nice impress. Oh, he was.
Wait.
He was Spawn in the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, you said he was Spawn?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Spawn.
Let's see.
Yeah,
what else? I mean, that's really the only. Unless you really want to consider, he was Jack Spriggs in Mortal Kombat Legacy.
All right, guys. I'll be right back. All right.
All right. And he was in a couple of Tyler Perry movies, and he was in the television movie Tyson.
I don't think I would have that.
Yeah, not a lot of people saw it. So, Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm interested. I will admit I am interested. Got the guy who played Spawn and Cyclops. Hell yeah, I'll take it. Kavari says, looks like it's a possibility that James Wan won't direct Aquaman 2 because Aquaman took him 3 years to make due to the heavy VFX CGI. Do you think 3 years is going to be too long for him to make Aquaman 2? Well, it depends on what's going to happen in the movie. I don't know. I think that's actually kind of interesting. That's he actually goes on to say more on James Wan's Aquaman. So he said, and I quote, Aquaman took 3 years of my life. It's hard seeing myself giving up another 3 years more for Aquaman. So guys, what can DCW do to speed up Aquaman's production? See, that I don't know. Because you kind of have to that I don't know. Sour, what do you think?
Wait, hold on. What?
The James Wan Aquaman thing is that he might not do it. And what should WB do to speed up its production?
Well, the first one, I hope James Wan is, continuing, because I really liked him. I really like how he handled Aquaman. And second, I don't know, really. I gotta go, actually. So,
All right, yeah,
see ya,
that's
everyone.
fine. We'll see you later. We're wrapping it up anyway.
Okay, see ya.
See you later. As far as speed up Aquaman's production, I don't know. It's actually kind of it's a good question. It's probably going to take longer depending on what they're going to be doing for Aquaman 2. So, yeah. That's really all I can really say on that, is that I don't think he's going to do it if that's the case. So, it's unfortunate. There's really nothing else here. Oh, Kavari says, breaking news, New Mutants streaming on Disney Plus September 4th. If that actually happens, I'm excited. So, because I've been looking forward to New Mutants for a while. All right, guys. Kavari, first of all, I would like to thank you for basically being here. You've been basically commenting the entire day. You've been one of those guys who's supported the channel for a good portion of the time. I want to thank Sour for coming on here, and I want to thank Ninjoid for helping me out here as well. And we're at the 2 hour mark again. And this isn't necessarily my best stream because I kept leaving and such, but hopefully with the next live discussion I won't do that and it won't be as long. So Ninjoid isn't here, so I'll kind of give you where you can find me at. You guys can find me on Twitter at TheAustinator17. You guys can find me on Discord at The Austinator, and you can find me on my channel at The Austinator with the Spider-Man profile picture, with the eyes just staring intently at you, like telling you to subscribe. I'm trying to reach my goal of 50 subscribers. If you guys have not subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to be doing gaming streams for a while because, again, with me leaving in a couple weeks, so you'll more than likely just see more live discussions. So that about does it. And unless Ninjoid comes back, I'll give him to about 2, and we'll give him to about 2 hours and 34 minutes. If he's not, oh, he's back. Okay.
What the heck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, I was saying I'm wrapping it up right now.
Oh, all right. Well, we're
not talking about anything. I'm just. He left.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was just saying I'm wrapping it up right now.
All right.
So, where can I find you at?
You can find me on YouTube at Ninjoid243. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to get my guests also subscribers, so please make sure if you're a new viewer to please subscribe to Austin. He's a good guy. He's a great friend. Also subscribe to Ryan when you can. You can find me on Twitter. You can actually follow all of us on Twitter at Ninja243. Austin is at the Austinator17, right?
Yes.
And then you can follow Ryan Krause. Ryan, aka Sour Krause, Sour Krause, or SK Rouse 06. Sorry, my bad. And then you can follow me on Facebook, Stefan Ninjowski, and Instagram at Ninja243, Snapchat at Ninja243.
Very, very nice. Now, before we go, at some point we are going to read through the Spider-Man fan fiction and hit the mark stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when we're gonna do that. Maybe sometime this week. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that about does it. Thank you guys so much for watching in the future. This is the Austinator and Ninja243 signing out.